Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Live from Currituck Extension. My name is Cameron Lowe, and I am Currituck County's Extension Director. And on today's episode of Live from Currituck Extension, I've got all my friends here, and we are going to answer your questions. So we are really looking forward to that. Over the last several weeks, we've been collecting your questions, and today we'd like to provide you with some research-based answers to those questions that you've submitted. Before we jump in, I want to remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the bell to receive notifications, and that's going to let you know whenever we post new videos or go live. If you've got questions that you want us to answer today during the course of this stream, you can enter those questions in the live chat box on YouTube or the comment function on the Facebook video if you're watching via Facebook. And we'll try to get to those if we can, certainly as we go along. If you're watching the recording of this class, we always want to provide you with research-based information or answers to the questions that you have. So you can find our contact information in the video description, and we encourage you to reach out to us via email on the website, give us a call, or interact with us on social media. So let me introduce who I have with us here today. So today we have with us, let's see if I can pull them up for you real quick. We've got Mr. Adam Fermella, our agriculture agent. We also have Ms. Olivia Patchell, our family and consumer sciences agent. We have Sherry Fischelschweiger, our 4-H agent. We have Christopher Blaha, our agriculture technician. And last but not least, we have Mr. Tom Harrell, our CCRC director and 4-H program assistant. So let's jump in. So our first question is actually for Chris, and this one came with an image. So let me pull that up for you. And that question is, I am having a problem with tomatoes that I haven't seen before. The leaves at the top of the plant are curling up tight and the lower leaves are fine. The variety is a black crim, but he's got other varieties that are doing the same thing. And they've been out for a few weeks, so they've been through lots of rain and wind and some cool temperatures. What can you tell them, Chris?
Well, I definitely suspect the unusually windy frost are the cause of this damage. Cold temperatures and frost at the onset of fruit can cause deformities in the plants, including curling and distorting leaves and stems. In my opinion, the ground was fairly warm from the daytime heating the day before, and that protected the lower half of the plant from the cold temperatures with the radiant heat from the ground. Usually maintaining good soil moisture prior to a cold event like this is very helpful. The water in the soil retains heat quite a bit longer than soil that is dry, and it releases the heat slowly during the cold event, as long as it's not a prolonged cold event. Overhead watering, large fans, and row covers are additional options available to combat the cold temperatures and frost. And one thing I have noticed is people who were able to protect their plants from the frost event are not showing that kind of damage. So okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Our next question is for Tom. Tom, this question, let me elaborate just a little bit. The question essentially is, what do we do with all this poo? But basically, it's referring to manure maintenance for horse farms. So, Tom, what advice have you got there?
Well, I did a little bit of research, and of course, you can compost the manure. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to break down, and if you have a garden, it's great for your garden. That's what they call garden gold, from what I read. You can also, if you have the ability to rotate your pastures, you can also spread the manure on your pasture and let it break down that way. And also, I found that a lot of farms are using dumpsters. You can get a dumpster and you can dump the manure in there and they will remove it that way.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Tom, for that one. The next question, let's see. I think I'm going to throw that one in Adam. Adam, this nice little picture came with this one. And basically your question, sir, is how do you get rid of spur weed?
So spur weed is a winter annual weed. It's the same thing as lawn burr weed. And you've probably had it in your yard for a while now because, like I said, it comes up in the winter. but it becomes an issue when it starts prickly. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we lost you for just a second. Sorry about that.
So anyways, you probably have noticed spur weed now because it has the seeds coming out. They're really prickly. If you haven't noticed them and you do have them in your yard, if you go out barefoot, you'll find them. But the best way to get rid of them is to have a healthy lawn. If it's really dense, you've got great grass, you're fertilizing it properly, you won't have as much issues with spur weed. Once you do get it, you can spot treat it with a number of herbicides. And we've got a fact sheet that we have from NC State University on how you can actually control it. A lot of those chemicals might not be available to homeowners. And so we've got a video on how to properly use pesticides, how to determine which ones you can buy, to look at the active ingredient, that sort of thing. But if you have questions, you can always contact us. But spot treatment only works really this time of year to kill it. And you'll still have them in years to come. So the best way to get rid of it for good is to put out pre-emergence. You'll want to be doing that in the fall. And again, a list of those can be found on that link. But you put out your pre-emergence in the fall, and that'll help to reduce the number that you have in your lawn. You may still get a couple, so you'll probably have to do it year after year. As far as what you can do this year to kind of reduce your numbers, a lot of people will drag around old blankets or carpets, things like that, to remove some of those seeds. But it is a winter annual weed, so once the temperatures start to rise, it's going to die off, probably within the next few weeks.
Gotcha. Thanks, Adam. As Adam said, so there's a link to that fact sheet in the chat box or the YouTube live box, whichever platform you're watching from. And we'll also put all these links to the resources that we're providing in the video description at the end of this video. All right, Olivia, you're up next. And our next question, especially right now that we've been getting, is what are some easy recipes that I can prepare with things that I already have?
Yeah, so I have a ton of recipes, but I had to narrow it down to 2. And I'm going to give you guys my first one is a healthy 3-bean salad. This has been my go-to all quarantine long. I bet we've made it every other week. So you can kind of vary up the ingredients. The base is 3 types of beans, and then some celery, onions, and herbs of your choice, and then a dressing. And dressings are typically made of a fat, an acid, and a sweetener. So whatever you have that kind of fits that that outline is what you could use. And then we have another one from the Med Instead of Meds curriculum, which was developed through NC State University. And it is the roasted vegetable tacos. And we use this one whenever we're cleaning out the fridge. So you can take whatever vegetables you have and put them in the oven. You want to cut them about the same size. So we've done little cubes and had it so it looked kind of like meat tacos. And then we've done them in long strips. So you can cut your vegetables up however you'd like and just kind of vary it. But you can take whatever you have in the fridge and use it there. But don't forget the taco seasoning. So it's in the recipe, shows you how to make some taco seasoning. That's what really makes this recipe. And these are all things that we typically have in our cabinets. But I do want to recommend that you guys just be experimenting with recipes right now. You have so much time to cook. It would be a great time just to kind of use a recipe as a guide and add all kinds of stuff to it to your taste.
I love that roasted vegetable taco recipe. So thanks. And again, they're in the chat windows there. All right, Sherry Fish, we have a question here on what exactly is 4-H?
Okay, that can be a pretty broad answer, but succinctly, North Carolina 4-H and 4-H across the United States is the largest youth development program in the nation. In 4-H, we use a learn by doing approach that helps youth gain the knowledge and skills that they're going to need to be successful, productive, and responsible adults in our community and our country. We do this by creating safe and inclusive learning environments with vetted adults, caring adults, and then those adults use their expertise and resources to give the youth an opportunity to learn and explore something new. We are able to utilize the expertise and the resources of North Carolina State University as well as the other land-grant universities across the nation. And that is a unique aspect about 4-H because we have continued access and the youth have continued access to research-based information coming out of those university systems. 4-H allows young people to explore their own interests, and that can be from photography to horses to rockets to computers. Whatever their interest is, we have a way to help them explore that. They get the opportunity to go to events across the state and the district that allows them to interact with other youth and other adults to provide them an opportunity to utilize the skills that they have learned. They learn to be outstanding citizens and excellent leaders through all the little things they pick up and get to practice by doing 4-H activities. And that, whether that's public speaking or decision making or how to work in a team, these are all skills that they need to carry through with them to adulthood. And that's what 4-H is.
Awesome. I personally owe a debt of gratitude for leadership development through 4-H. It was an awesome program growing up. All right, we're going to come back to you, Chris. Our next question is, what is the best low maintenance grass for our region? And I think you have a slide to go with that, so I'll pull that up now. Best low maintenance grass for our region. All you.
All right. So that's kind of a tough question because it really depends on the environment that you're going to be raising it in. So choosing the appropriate turf grass to plant will depend on a number of factors: the climate, intended use or wear at the site, the light, whether you have sun or shade, the desired appearance. All need to be considered when selecting a turf grass species. Other factors that need to be considered are salt spray, certainly in this area, what type of soil that you have, whether it's sand, clay, loam, etc., and whether or not the location will be irrigated. Characteristics of each cultivar and make a selection dependent on your needs. So you have your species, whether it's Bermuda or St. Augustine, and then you have individual cultivars which might suit your particular needs. They have different qualities about them that may suit your particular needs. When all the environmental factors and the unique characteristics of each turf grass species and cultivar are considered, you'll be able to select the most appropriate turf grass for your situation. Maintaining turf grass can be time consuming and extremely labor intensive and very expensive. So take the time to do the research. Don't forget, we are always available to answer any questions that you have. And at the end of this, I've included a ton of links that you can check out that'll be in the description, all from maintenance calendars. Pretty much everything you need to know about turf grass will be in this in the description.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And I did add a couple of those links to the chat box, the Turf Files and the Carolina Lawns publication, which are good. That you as well. Okay. Sherry Fish, we did have a quick follow-up question on your 4-H question. How is it that one would go about actually getting their child enrolled in 4-H? Oops. Hold on a second, Sherry. We got you on mute. There you go.
Sorry about that. The simplest way to enroll in 4-H is to go online and go to 4-H online. It's a program, and I'll include that link at the bottom of this or in this broadcast. You sign up by state and county, and when you do that, your name and contact information is automatically forwarded to me, and then we'll make a call and get you the information you need on upcoming programs and activities and events. If you're right here in the county, you can just call the office and we'll facilitate enrolling your child. And you can participate in activities from that minute forward, and we can work through the minutia of the paperwork that has to go with that. But the child can jump right in and participate.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, our next question, Tom, we're going to jump back to you. We have a question about the best control for biting flies and mosquitoes for horses.
Okay, well, first, there's tons of fly sprays and things on the market, but sanitation is the big issue. If it takes 2 weeks for fly eggs to hatch and molt into where they're capable of reproducing. So breaking the life cycle of the fly is a big thing by composting your manure and keeping areas around your barn clean. Wet, moldy hay attracts flies. They like to reproduce there. And also, if you can rotate your pastures, that's a big plus, keeping fly control down. And but mainly just keeping the areas clean and also storing the manure as far away from your horses and barns as possible.
Thanks, Tom.
And Cameron, one other thing.
Sure.
If you Google NCSU fly control in horses, there's several extension county extensions in North Carolina that had put up different articles about fly control that were very good. So, and they all had different ideas.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, our next question is for Adam. Adam, what is the best erosion control for a steep, sandy slope?
So I think this question really, there's two ways that you can look at it depending on what situation you're in. So we're going to start with if you're kind of here on the mainland and you just have a backyard that's really sandy. The best thing that you can do is plant plants. So the roots will really help to hold the soil in place. Your issue with sand is it doesn't hold a lot of moisture. And so when you do go to plant on that sandy area, you have to water a lot more frequently than most recommendations. So if you want to plant on a slope, what you would do is plant some sort of grass. They've got great roots to hold things in. And you can put down a hay or a straw mat. That'll help to keep the seeds in place. If you're planting something like Bermuda grass, which really grows well in areas that have a lot of sunlight, that get a lot of heat like where we're at. So you can plant your Bermuda seed there. You'll want to water it, but also those mats will help keep moisture in. So that's really the first step, is keeping moisture in, getting those grasses to come up, and then you can plant other things on your slope. The second part is if you're kind of on the beach or in a beachy area and you're talking about something like a sand dune. And if you are on a sand dune, you can do some of the same things. Your grass mats will help, or your straw mats where you put in grass seed. But you also want to be planting native plants. So we've got a publication or a couple publications that we'll put in the chat that you can take a look at and see what kind of native grasses grow in the area. Things like sea oats will grow well. And then you can plant trees as well. Things like live oaks will grow in this area. The biggest thing is you want to make sure you're planting native plants. And also, when you're going to try to find these to plant, don't go to the dunes and remove them, because you'll be breaking the law doing that. So make sure that you look these up online. If you have any questions about finding them or how to take care of them, just contact us and we'll help you.
Awesome. Thank you. So we put those links there in the chat on the native plants and then the dune restoration guide as well. And we'll add them again to the video description when we get done here as well. Okay. Few more questions. Let's see. Sherry Fish, this one's for you. How are volunteers utilized in 4-H and how can I get involved?
Volunteers are used in 4-H in any way or activity that you have an interest in helping us do. They're key and crucial to the success of the 4-H program. They mentor our youth. They run our clubs. They help us plan and run and execute events for youth. Probably most importantly, they increase our reach in our community, and that helps us reach new audiences or new groups of underserved youth in the community, and it allows us to engage them in some of the activities and events that we're doing that we just couldn't possibly do as a single individual in the county, or even a 4-H agent that has program assistants that are able to help them. We still can't reach the number of youth that we would be able to do without our volunteer support. They share their expertise and their energy, their wisdom, and all of the experiences they've had that help these young people create their own experiences at a level that allows them to learn and build on their skills. Without them, we couldn't do the job that we're able to do.
Absolutely. And if somebody wanted to volunteer, would they just reach out to you, Sherry?
They just reach out to me or anybody else on the 4-H staff, or for that matter, anybody on the extension staff. They will link that person up with me, and we can facilitate that process immediately. Everybody has something they can give that will help a young person grow. So we could use you in any capacity.
Awesome. Thank you. Speaking of volunteer opportunities, we'll go back to you, Olivia. Are there volunteer opportunities with the Family and Consumer Sciences program, and what do those look like?
Yeah, so we have a lot of volunteer opportunities. To begin, we have our Extension and Community Association clubs. They do various volunteer opportunities around the community, and there's no training involved with that one. You just join up with one of our existing groups or create your own. We have 2 other volunteer groups, the Senior Health Insurance Information Program, and they do Medicare counseling. That does come with some training, and then you're able to help Medicare beneficiaries enroll in Medicare products. And then the other one that we have, if you're really interested in cooking and nutrition, we have the Master Food Volunteers. And again, this does have a training. It's 30 hours, and you get a certification after that. And then you can come and assist with cooking classes and cooking demonstrations.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And same involvement protocol there. Just contact you at the office?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. And then the last submitted question that we have, unless anybody online has some questions for us live, go ahead and type those in the chat box. But this last one is for Adam. Adam, how can folks get involved as a volunteer with the agriculture program, or can they?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of opportunities for people to get involved. If you are a farmer, we do a lot of on-farm trials. We do a lot of variety trials. So we plant things like corn and see how do they compare to each other. We do field days where we actually do research. As part of NC State University, we kind of take some of their protocols and we develop our own as well. So with that, we need a lot of help. And so if you're interested in doing hot work outside, or if you're a farmer and you have some land and you're interested in seeing some of these trials, you can do that. We also have a very active Master Gardener program. If you're a homeowner and you're interested in gardening, you like plants in general, there's really tons of opportunities there for you. It's a program that we usually get started in the late summer and fall. You get trained and you become a Master Gardener, and then there's opportunities to work outside to volunteer. You can even have the opportunity to teach once you've got some training under you. So we've got a lot of opportunities in the ag field.
Awesome. So Extension's a great place to volunteer, folks. We have a ton of opportunities all over the place. I'm going to just pop up our website there, which is also in the comments on this video. And really, guys, that's it for today's episode of Live from Currituck Extension. We appreciate your interaction. We appreciate your questions. If you have additional questions, certainly reach out to us via social media or our website, call, email. We would love to talk to you and give you some great research-based answers to the questions that you have, specifically in the area of agriculture, youth development, foods and nutrition, and community development. So make sure you check out the description after the video is over. We'll make sure we put all those links in there. And don't forget to take a moment and do our evaluation. It's only 5 short questions, and it would really help us out and give us ideas for future content. You don't want to miss tomorrow, because tomorrow coming back will be our 4-H agent, Sherry Fischel-Schweiger, and she'll be talking about seed banks and preparing for our future. So don't miss us live tomorrow at 11:30. Hey, it was great to see you guys. Bye, everybody.